We're here today to examine H.R. 3195, the ADA Restoration Act of 2007. The Americans with Disabilities Act was enacted in 1990 with broad bipartisan support. Among its purposes was to protect individuals with disabilities from discrimination in the workplace. By many measures, the law has been a success. It has increased awareness of the needs of individuals with disabilities and has fostered recognition that these individuals can succeed and thrive if given the opportunity. I believe the employer community has taken the ADA to heart, with businesses adopting policies specifically aimed at providing meaningful opportunities to individuals with disabilities. Although the ADA has been successful, supporters of the ADA Restoration Act believe the law needs to be expanded. They argue that it has been unduly narrowed, leaving some individuals without protections. I look forward to examining these concerns more fully today. At the same time, although there is widespread support for the principles of the ADA, concerns have been raised about the unintended consequences that could result from an expansion of the law. As this committee well knows, even the best of legislative intentions often produce harmful unintended consequences. Sometimes measures such as this may even harm the very individuals they seek to help. For instance, it's been argued that the ADA Restoration Act would significantly and dramatically expand the number of individuals receiving coverage. This may seem like a well-intended goal. Surely we all agree that every individual with a disability should be given adequate accommodations and protections. However, if the protections are dispersed to virtually every individual in the workplace, as some fear this bill would do, protections for those with the most substantial and limiting disabilities could be diluted. Resources could be stretched too thin, leaving those who need the help the most without the accommodations they deserve. I expect to hear discussion today about a series of judicial decisions, how they've impacted the law. Some believe these decisions have clarified and underscored the original congressional intent. Others believe they have inappropriately narrowed the application of the ADA. I look forward to a vigorous debate on these questions. However, we must proceed cautiously before enacting legislation that seeks to overrule judicial findings. Certainly it is the prerogative of Congress to enact laws and ensure those laws are implemented as Congress intended. Yet, as we have seen in this committee on one bill after the next, legislative fixes are rarely as clear-cut or narrowly drawn as we would hope. All too often, in trying to correct one problem, we create several others. Such was the case, for instance, with the Ledbetter Fair Pay Bill that did not overrule a single decision as its supporters intended, but rather fundamentally altered decades of anti-discrimination policy and precedent. I hope and expect that will not be the case with the bill before us, the ADA Restoration Act. Although a number of concerns with the legislation have already been identified, I'm hopeful that as the committee moves forward, we can correct these flaws so that the ADA Restoration Act enjoys the same strong support as its predecessor nearly 18 years ago. We have with us today an esteemed group of witnesses, including the sponsor of the legislation, the House Majority Leader. I want to thank each of the witnesses for joining us as we give careful consideration to this bill. I look forward to a thoughtful, open-minded debate that looks not only at the bill's intended consequences, but also those that may not be intended. By ensuring the legislation is crafted narrowly and precisely, we can avoid undue burdens and litigation traps that will harm the very individuals we are seeking to protect. Thank you, Chairman Andrews, and I yield back the balance of my time.